What is going on, guys? Today we are talking about the best business to start in 2022. And this is like almost no startup cost, hence why it's one of the best and easiest to start. However, again, it does come down to your personal opinion and if you want to do it, because again, if you don't enjoy it, do you really want to do this? So, the topic that I'm going to be discussing is SMMA, Social Media Marketing Agency. Now, why is this one of the best businesses to start, right? It's actually one of the first companies that I started. I recently sold it, as well as I still get monthly payments from that, a portion of it at least. That's how we did the contract. However, why is it one of the best to start? Well, the startup costs are very little to almost none, right? As well as it's very easy to actually find clients. So startup costs, right, if you want to make this super legal and all of that, again, you can just do this as a side hustle, and then you don't really need an LLC and stuff like that. However, if you want to get tax write-offs and you actually want to grow this like I did, getting an LLC, that's going to cost you around $550. Then from that point on, I would suggest getting some business cards. I use digital, but I also had some paper ones that were just simpler to hand out to my older clients, or just a little bit like that. So again, that's going to set you back around $40-50. So basically total right now, we're under $600, right? And besides that, what else do you need? Nope, that's it. That's all you need, $600. That's basically the entire cost to start this. Now, why is that? Basically, social media marketing agency, what do you do, right? So the easiest that I've found, and this is kind of how I got my foot in the door, was actually real estate agents, right? Because they're so busy, looking for houses, running the comps on houses. They don't really have much time to promote. They get most of their clients through cold calling, friends, family, old clients, and some people from their brokerage. Now, that is not the best way to do it, because I've been cold called by realtors a lot. Now, I have a great realtor, and I stick with him just due to the fact that, one, he already knows everything I like and all of that stuff. But here's the thing. So cold calling is not the most effective. However, right, if I see that basically some people on Instagram and stuff, for the $1 million listings, right? So for example, for my New York place, I couldn't use my realtor from Texas because obviously, right, doesn't have the same licenses. Obviously, yeah, he could find someone or refer someone, but I'm like, you know what? I saw this video on YouTube. This guy did a walkthrough. So I'm like, this is a super nice place. I'm looking for something similar, right? This is a little bit bigger and a little bit pricier than I was wanting to pay, right? I think that one was $13 million or something, and I'm like, okay, we're not paying $13 million, right? New York's expensive enough. But anyways, I found a super nice place, right? He kind of told me about a couple. Brooklyn Point was actually one of them, so I actually went and toured that. It was super nice. However, then I did end up going to one more place, right? And this was actually due to the fact that I ended up getting dinner with a friend from high school. He told me he just moved in there. I'm like, shit, let me check it out. He told me about all the amenities they had, right? Saltwater pool, tranquility center, spa, massage, 2-story gym, restaurants, helipad so I can get to the airport. All of that beautiful, right? So I hit up my realtor and I'm like, hey, what can we do about this? And again, yeah, you can always do this process by yourself. But here's the thing. One, especially in New York, if you're walking into a place like this, having a realtor is a lot easier to get stuff done, right? I went and toured it by myself the very first time. Here's the thing. They were super nice, super friendly, cordial, all of that. However, I actually did not get anything back from them, any information-wise, all of that stuff, until I called my realtor and I'm like, hey, can we see what we can do on this property? He reached out, he got it back to me, and then the day after, I literally got an email from them, and they're like, hey, thanks for touring it. Here's all the ones you toured. We got your message from the realtor as well, right? So, again, I don't know if that was the case, but I feel like it definitely led up to it. So, that was kind of the way that real estate, right? I ended up getting a real estate agent, right? And he basically got commission on that just due to the fact that I saw a YouTube video, right? And that's the thing. But real estate agents don't really have time, right? How are they going to edit videos? Because I know basically how much time it takes to, use social media, right? Edit the videos, especially if you want to have it done in that kind of professional manner. You gotta have the drone flying, all of that stuff. So it's like, yeah, you can single-handedly hire it from time to time, but overall, hiring single is a lot more expensive than just hiring a company to kind of take care of everything, because they usually, again, get lower rates, and if not, they usually have some people on staff that can do all of that, actually. So again, they also don't have time to be keeping up with the trends, which social media, what time to post, how many times a day, all of this stuff. So again, this business is very useful for people basically, right, that grew up with technology, social media, all of that stuff. So up until I would say right now, late 20s is a great time. That from that point on, literally 16 to 30, you can be doing the social media marketing. And here's the thing, then on top of that, right, the main thing you just have to learn, right, since you already use social media, now you just kind of have to switch it into not even really selling through social media, it's just advertising through social media. The selling and the clients actually come from the Facebook ads, the Instagram ads, the TikTok ads, YouTube ads, all of that stuff. That's where the real money comes from. But that's not going to go into your pockets or anything like that. You're going to be like, yo, these ads, we're going to be running $100 a week of ads. They'll be like, okay. And then at that point, you just get them a client. Because here's the thing, you get them one client, right, and depending where you live, right? In New York, one client, most likely $1 million plus. So guess what? They get their commission. Let's say they split it, right? So let's just say they get 2%, right? Well, 2% on $1 million, that's 20 grand. So that's a very substantial amount. So again, that's pretty dang good. And right, let's say they spend $100 a week on ads, so that's $400 times 12 months, right? So let's just say it's $4,800, but let's round up to 5. Let's say every month they basically paid you $500. So that's basically a total of 6. So we're at $11,000. So there's still $9,000 in profit. But that's only if you get the one client in the whole year, which obviously you're going to try to do more, because then guess what? You do more, you can charge more. Here's the beauty of the social media marketing agency that I actually loved, and this was kind of the money maker for me. So I would never charge my clients a lot per month. Right, my lowest package was legit, I think $400 or something, and my highest was $2,000. Right, I had clients in the 400 and I had some in the 2,000 range. Here's the thing though. Obviously, once you hire them in social media, like they hire you, you gotta look at their socials, you gotta look at all of this, right? So obviously you're creating their Instagram, you're redoing their Facebook, TikTok, Twitter, whatever, for free, right? Because that's your job, that's part of your monthly pay. And at the beginning, it's a lot of work, but then once you get it rolling, it's very easy. Here's the thing. Once you recreate that, right, you gotta make them a website, or you gotta recreate their website. So you're gonna charge them for that, right? Usually $500 to $800. Does it? First of all, creating websites does not take a lot to learn. You can legit type in on YouTube how to make a website for real estate agents. There's an hour-long video that literally walks it through, right? If it's the first time you've ever made one, it's going to take you about 2 hours to do. 2 hours for $800? That's $400 an hour. Count me in. Then basically from that point, now they have a new website. Well, they're gonna need new business cards, right? They're gonna need new flyers. They're gonna need new signs. And guess what? You can provide all of that. Go to Vistaprint, do it all of that, and then just charge a little bit extra for your time. So usually, right, I would just charge basically every hour, then about $100 it would take me, right? So again, not bad profit there either. Then once you got all of that set up, you basically get them. Now here's the thing, here's where I really started banking. I didn't even have to promote myself really in a sense, because my first, again, the way this company started was by complete mistake. A buddy of mine turned real estate agent, he needed some help, he saw that I grew my own Instagram account really quickly back when I was doing YouTube throughout high school. Sadly the account got deleted due to high school deleting my email. Anyways, it kind of sucks, I had like 3,000 subs, I was very proud of that. But Then from that point on, right, I got him clients. And then I believe, I don't even know what company he was with because I don't really pay attention to that anymore. But, crap. Yeah, I actually have no idea. Anyways, he was with a brokerage, and then they asked him, they're like, hey, how do you keep closing so many sales? You're like brand new here, right? They're not even giving him really the good leads in a sense. He's like, oh, I just hired like my buddy. He runs my social medias and all of that. So then just off of that, right, he literally put me into this account, and I think it was like, I really can't remember. This was like 5 years ago. But it was like this app, I think like Scratch or Scap or what the fuck they call this shit, right? I'm getting too old for all these apps. Holy crap. But basically, he put me in a group, right? And it was like 15 people in that group, right? 4 of them signed with me right away. Now, if you do the math, right? 4 plus him, that's 5. So even if they're paying the minimum of $400 a month, that's $2,000 I am racking in every month. Plus, the first month, they're all going to need redesigns. So I'm racking in about $1,000 on the first month on each of them, right? So that theoretically would be another $4,000 in the first month. So again, and it just keeps going. It's basically like a rolling snowball. However, obviously, if you do a shit job, it cuts off. So that's kind of the thing. Now, my whole thing is, I'm actually a very proud person, right? I believe in starting stuff up myself, all of that stuff. So actually, when I started, right, I didn't ask my family or parents for anything. However, I did ask for their support. Now you're like, what the crap is he talking about? So I actually just made shirts, right, that said KLEX/SMMA, super cheap. I got like 10, 15 of those for my family and a couple of my friends, super comfy, and I loved wearing them myself. So, my dad wore that into work one day. One of the people he works with, his wife, just turned into a real estate agent, literally I think like 2 weeks before. So, I ended up meeting up with her and closing her as a client as well, which started out at $500 a month. So boom, now I have 6 clients, right? And I basically, right, as a 16, 17-year-old, this is like huge money for me, basically almost making $3,000 every single month, right? And it just kept going, right? So the shirts, those, I think, $50, $60 I spent were one of the best investments I could have made just due to the fact of how many clients it got me. But yeah, anyways, right, you start growing that and growing that and growing that. And then by the time, right, you know, I was like, I think before I even turned 17, I was basically racking in like $6,000 every single month. And all of this was pure profit. So because I really had no cost, their ads were covering themselves. So the only cost I had was to get the stuff done. And that was just my time. And again, at that time, I had time because did I pay attention in class? Of course I didn't. I really didn't, right? I would usually sleep, eat, or work throughout the entire school day. And actually, usually I ditch school by like 10:40 in the morning. I would literally show up from like classes start to around like 11, and then I'd dip, go grab a bite to eat, and head home. So, you know, I had a decent amount of time to do it. But social media marketing agency, very good. And I think it's super fun, right? It was actually a great thing for me to learn because now it helps me with marketing. I'm still crappy at marketing, but again, whatever. And it was a nice business to start, and it all depends on time. So you don't really have investments to make, and you don't really have any, you know, if you're making $6,000, but then you got $3,000 in expenses. No, it's literally all profit. And you have so many different price ranges, right? The best part was when I closed a $2,000 a month client because I'm like, holy crap, you know? It's like, I got $2,500 or $3,000 with these. This dude alone is $2,000, so I'm at $5,000, right? And I'm like, yo, and then right after that I signed $1,000, so I was at $6,000, literally within a couple of months of starting, and I'm like, yo, this is awesome, right? So I was super excited, and you can do this super easy. You can literally go on Yelp. You can type in real estate agents in your area, you know, you can type in family-owned coffee shops, all of that stuff, and then you can just go, right? And the best part is, I ended up selling that company for $400,000. Now you're like, okay, cool, right? It's like, guys, that's great money, as well as I still get monthly payouts. So every month I can easily expect around $1,000 every month, $1,000 to $2,000 every month. And it's like, I'm not even touching it, right? I just built it, and now